All right, let's talk about building wealth, but I want you to forget everything you think you know. We're about to walk through a complete playbook for starting from absolute zero, and this is tailored specifically for the economic world we're looking at in 2026. Look, this isn't some get-rich-quick fantasy. This is a clear, actionable path to getting wealthy, for sure.
Just picture that for a second. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? The headlines are screaming about the economy, and you're starting with absolutely nothing. But here's how I want you to reframe it. 2026 is a clean slate. It's your chance to finally pick up the controller and play the game of wealth building the right way by tuning out all of that distracting noise.
So, where does the playbook even begin? Well, I can tell you where it doesn't begin. Picking stocks or chasing the next hot trend. No, the first and honestly the most critical step is to deal with this invisible anchor that's holding you back before you even think about investing a single dollar. This analogy just captures the problem perfectly. Trying to invest while you're carrying high interest debt is literally like trying to fill a bucket that has no bottom. I mean, sure, you can pour in some gains from the market, but that high interest is draining your future wealth faster than you can possibly build it. The math simply does not work in your favor. Think about it this way. Paying off a credit card that's charging you 20% interest isn't an expense. It is a guaranteed, tax-free 20% return on your money. Let that sink in for a second. Where else can you find that kind of safe, guaranteed return? Nowhere. Not in the market, not anywhere. It is the single best investment you can possibly make at the beginning of this journey. So once that nasty high interest debt is gone, the next step isn't to immediately jump into the market. Nope. It's to build your cash fortress. Now, at this early stage, cash is not trash. Its job isn't to beat inflation. Its job is to be your insurance policy against all the chaos life can throw at you. It prevents you from ever being forced to make a terrible financial decision out of desperation. And this is why that fortress is so crucial. Just look at the two paths here. Investor A, with no cash buffer, gets hit with an emergency. They're forced to sell their stocks at the worst possible time, turning what might have been a temporary dip into a permanent, painful loss. But look at Investor B. The same emergency happens, but they just use their cash buffer. Their investments are left completely untouched to recover, and they come out whole. This isn't just about money. It's a psychological shield against panic. So the protocol for phase one is simple, and it's absolutely non-negotiable. First, you use the Avalanche Method. That just means you attack your highest interest rate debt first, no matter how big the balance is. Destroy it. Second, you automate your savings to build that 3-month fortress. This is the bedrock. You get this right, and everything else we're about to talk about becomes possible. With our foundation secure, now we can move to phase two, building the actual wealth engine. But here's the paradox. The real path to getting rich is often in direct conflict with our desire for excitement. The truth is, good investing should feel boring. Like really boring. Like watching paint dry. And if you're ever tempted to go out and pick the next hot stock, I want you to remember this chart. Over a 15-year period, more than 90% of professional fund managers, we're talking people paid millions of dollars to do this full-time, fail to beat a simple market average. So if they can't do it, what do you think our chances are? The smart move isn't trying to find the needle in the haystack, it's to just buy the whole haystack. But hey, let's be honest, boring is hard. We all want a little action. And that's exactly why this psychological hack is so effective. The core satellite approach. Here's how it works. 90% of your portfolio is the core. This is the boring stuff. Automated, low-cost, broad market index funds. This is your serious wealth builder. The other 10%? That's your satellite. This is your fun money. Go ahead, speculate a little. Buy that tech stock, dabble in crypto. It lets you scratch that itch without ever threatening your real financial future. All right, you've got the right investments, but where you put them matters just as much as what you buy, if not more. This is the part that most people completely ignore, and it can cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. We need to talk about taxes. This comparison just shows you the insane power of picking the right account. We're looking at the exact same investment with the exact same performance. $10,000 grows to $100,000. But in a regular taxable account, you're going to hand over about $18,000 in taxes. In the Roth IRA, you keep the entire $100,000. You just earned an extra $18,000, not from better stock picking, but from smarter account selection. You're choosing to keep the whole pie for yourself. The key is to fill your investment buckets in the right order, following this exact waterfall. First, you get the free money from your employer's 401k match. That's an instant 100% return. Then you max out a Roth IRA for that beautiful tax-free growth. Next, if you have one, you max out a health savings account, or HSA. And only after all those tax-advantaged buckets are completely full should you put a single dime into a regular brokerage account. This order, this is your tax shield. So far, we've been playing defense, saving, investing smartly, minimizing taxes. But defense just keeps you from losing the game. To win, you have to play offense. See, there's a hard ceiling on how much you can save, but there is absolutely no ceiling on how much you can earn. This quote just gets right to the heart of it. Forget the whole latte effect. While being frugal is good, clipping coupons is not the primary lever for building wealth. The biggest accelerator by far is increasing the size of your shovel, your primary income.
Let's just compare the math. You can get a side hustle, right? That's linear income. You trade your limited time for a bit more money. But if you invest that same time in learning a high-leverage skill that boosts your main salary by, say, $20,000, well, that's recurring income. That pays you again every single year. It boosts your 401k match, it compounds with future raises. One is a short-term fix. The other is a long-term wealth accelerator. Of course, this path, it requires discomfort. It's much easier to just go pick up a simple side hustle than it is to embrace being a beginner again and learn a difficult new skill. But you have to remember this. Real growth, both personal and financial, only, and I mean only, ever happens when you step outside that comfort zone.
Whew, okay. We've covered a lot of ground, from defense to offense. Now, let's just put it all together. This is the entire 2026 playbook summarized. Here it is, your 5 steps. 1. Kill the debt. 2. Build the fortress. 3. Use the tax shields. 4. Invest in those boring index funds. And 5. Go play offense. Increase your income. See, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a get-wealthy-for-sure scheme. It's grounded in simple math and a little bit of psychology. The steps are clear and the math is undeniable. This playbook works if you work it. So the only real question left to answer is this: are you ready to pick up the controller?